There's a point where money just becomes number on screen. Grant Cardone said that you need at least $20 million today to be considered rich. Mark Zuckerberg said there is no reason for one reason to have billions of dollars. Have leaving numbers aside, you'll see that bigger your goal is. Hello and welcome back to Only Pay. We'll be discussing about what it takes to be trillionaire. Be sure to watch all the way to the end. If you are new to the channel, then hit the subscribe button below from our life-changing content. John D. Rockefeller is often cited as being the world's first billionaire. He acquired that status largely due to his ownership in Standard Oil, which controlled 90% of all the oil in the US. And an interesting story here, the Supreme Court decided to dismantle his company due to violation of antitrust laws. In other words, he was just too big for any to be able to compete with him, and his company was broken down into 34 different entities. But these entities end up double or triple their values over the years of making Rockefeller the world's first billionaire. If you take more broad look, the world's first billionaire shaped how entity industries worked. He fine-tuned the process of turning oil into fuel, which shaped modern America. He also owned the railroads to transport the oil, which made the cost and logistics a lot smoother. His direct input on how everything in the entire country is done made him the richest person in the world at the time. Today, there are 2,666 documented billionaires in the world, but very few of them have same world-changing impact as the first billionaire had. Actually, very few of them do. If you had to split them into two groups, you would get technology and luxury. So, in our quest to find out what a trillionaires look like, let's start the beginning. It's not just the idea. Ideas alone are worth nothing. Everybody's got ideas, like what said before, an idea is worth $1 million after it's made $1 million. You'll be inclined to say it's exclusions. That's true, but only on a micro scale. We are talking trillionaires. Here, let's say you built a functioning technology that transforms stone into gold at the press of button. Will the technology make you a trillionaire? Imagine going campaign in the mountains and becoming back covered in gold. Literally every stone you touch turned to gold. You are basically King Midas. For now, you would have to transform all the stones on a planet into gold. Will you be physically travel across the planet and find all the stones? You will pay someone to send you all of the stones. What's your game plan here? Secondly, but the point, gold will lose so much of its value. Gold is valuable because there is a little of it, and it takes a while to find an exact mold. If it is replaced stone with gold, stone will eventually become more valuable, and thirdly, and aren't exactly helping anyone. You are not creating more value for people or solving their problems. You are just making something nobody asked you to. People are in search of $1 billion idea, something so radical and world-changing that nobody's ever thought of it before. But the problem is, it is not the idea. Let's say you build the technology that transforms garbage waste into drinkable water by magic. It still won't make you rich unless you are able to transform all of the garbage waste of the earth. Which brings us a scalability. When somebody looks to acquire a company that don't look what you are done so far, they look whether or not you can do it again. And global scale, what's stopping you to? Distribution, logistic. If the answer is clear and they can offer a solution, deal is made. The biggest oversight a young entrepreneur makes when trying to grow a company is scalability. You read something and it works, you can do it again at a global scale. If you think about it, Tesla didn't go big because they made one functioning electric car. They found a way to make them at scale within a budget and people. Actually, when you use them, almost 2 million Tesla cars have been sold so far. Scalability in the main reasons. The companies don't grow, they can't make more of what they're making. Well, without affecting the quality of or the end product, without losing money. And eventually, Going out of business knowing how to make something at scale is one of those skills you won't find often mentioned in the business books. But it is the key ingredients to grow. Every industry and every business has different ways to scale. For some, it's obvious, but those others not. So much how can you make food at scale without affecting the environment and everyone around in your ability to make something at scale dictates how big you will get, and in order to make that happen you need to solve logistics. We made a video about overpopulations which we really like and we suggest you to check it out after this one. In it we noted that one of the problems the world is facing is not too many people but not unequal distributions. There is a great quote that says the future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed, and this is an extremely complex problem to solve. And so far, nobody's managed to do it perfectly. If you take a look, everyone who's tired and tackled distributions at scale got extremely rich in the top 10 richest people. Google is mentioned twice. You can Google something anywhere in the world. That's the global distribution of information. Bezos tackled the logistic of online shopping. Hate on him all you want. You still expect to find everything on Amazon and have it delivered to your doorstep. The next morning you buy drones instantly. If possible, Elon Musk tackles the logistic of electric energy from cars to batteries and houses. SpaceX tackles to the logistic of reusing stock rockets. More than one time, Starlink tackles the logistic of global wireless internet. How to get goods and services from A to B reliably. The instantly is major issue. Get it right, you get rich. Get it wrong, you are in big trouble. Remember the Evergreen boat that got stuck in the Suez Canal? Sources estimate that little ingredient was costing $6.7 million every minute in global trade value, but none of this matter if you don't get the next thing right. People need to care about your product. It goes without saying that the world's first trillionaire will make something everyone cares about. If people couldn't care less what you have to say or what you are offering, your hard work, it won't matter. You might even find that what people find useful is not the same thing you wanted to build in the first place. And here comes another problem. Since there are so many problems on earth, not everyone cares about the same thing until we all do. Let's take climate change for example. Not everyone cares about it right now, but give it a couple more tornadoes, heat waves, hurricanes and wildfire and opinions might start to change. So to make a summary of what we just talked about, we really believe that first trillionaire will be someone who finds a problem almost everybody in the world cares about, to build a viable solution. That people agree on using, 3 builds a system which produces the solution at a global scale, and 4 distribute that solution to everyone on the planet. Many people believe that Elon Musk is on the path to become the world's first trillionaire. A study conducted by Tribality approved showed that Elon Musk's wealth saw a 129 average annual increase since 2017, and if he keeps on going, he'll become the first trillionaire in the next 2 years. He does seems to take off most of the boxes. We don't know who the world's first trillionaire would be, or even if someone should be a trillionaire, it doesn't even matter. Really, the point of this video is the way someone will become a trillionaire is the same way you become a millionaire. Build a solution, a problem people care about. Figure out a way to make it scale and then distribute it to as many people as you can. The reason we kept the trademark the purchase future billionaire is because at the end of the day, if you find way out bringing value to the world will make you rich. Someone who has this kind of mindset is a future billionaire, and who knows, maybe even a trillionaire. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and be sure to turn on bell notification so you don't miss any video just like this one. If you enjoy this video, please give us your thought in the comment below and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.